Okay, ready.
I'm recording.
Oh, good. Great. Hope you edit that out. Well, hey, YouTube. Welcome to Ferrum Forge Knife Works. And we're trying to make more videos. We used to make quite a lot of videos, and we were parsing them, and we came across some of my epic rambles
Can't you just say we were watching some videos?
from years ago, and I'm ignoring him. I'm just ignoring the voice behind the camera right now. And wow, it was fascinating to, well, it's always weird to watch yourself on film, but to watch myself in a immensely tired state because it was late at night and I'd been working for days on end and just rambling on about stuff and things around me.
Talk louder. We got background
Sorry.
noise.
Helicopter. It happens. And it was fascinating to watch. But what was really interesting is how most of the underwriting physics and what we do in knives hasn't changed for us. And many of the principles that I put in place years ago for making folding knives here have stayed the same. There's been a little bit of evolution, a little bit of improvement, I like to think. We try and improve. But it's been fascinating that even way back then, well, it wasn't way back, I mean, it's only been 4-ish years, but in those 4 years, a lot has happened.
A lot has happened in those 4 years.
So it's 2019, which means I have now been making knives, well, attempting to make knives for a decade. And then Ferrum Forge in this space, in this incarnation, has now been around for 6 years. And it's been a wild ride. When I look back at it, when we look back at it, especially when we watch those old videos and like just the way the shop was set up, in the way we used to do things, gosh, those were rough times.
Sometimes we made it hard on ourselves.
Definitely. And that's part of what we have done here at Ferrum Forge is we've failed a lot. We messed up a lot of things, and we tried to learn from those mistakes, and for the most part I think we have. And that's why one of the reasons we're actually looking back is so that it was fresh in our minds, like where we succeeded and where we failed, so that we can fail less and succeed more.
I like that. That sounds good.
Because at the end of the day, what that means is better products for all of you people. So we figured that we would get back to verbalizing what we do and why we do it in the form of videos, because we used to do that.
Ranting,
yeah. That's a nice way to put it. And we figured, you know what? Let's start it off with just a good old-fashioned rant. Let's just do it. I mean, we might as well. I mean, it's real. It's raw. We literally just picked up the camera and I was like, hey, let's just shoot a ranty video today.
let's do it. It's gonna be nice because I've been doing all these very sterile how-to videos. Get back to what we do.
Chris is going to keep doing that kind of stuff. He's got a lot more patience for it than I do. And I find it actually really hard to talk about assembly, disassembly, and then problem shooting.
Problem shooting?
Problem solving? Troubleshooting. Trouble solving? I find it hard to do it when I'm actually doing the thing. Like, it's very strange where it's all going on up here and I'm just going through and doing it. But talking it out, I'm not as good at it as Chris is.
I had to do that for a couple years.
I gloss
People
straight over stuff. Just gloss right over it. What the fuck did you just do that? What? Oh yeah, I adjusted all that.
Remember the window shades?
Oh, that's right.
I had to do a lot of hand holding and explaining for
Instructional
installations.
things.
And like, okay, what is going on there? This is how we're gonna fix it. Oh, and I'm 3,000 miles away.
No big deal. So, I think the best way to start off with a good old-fashioned ramble is really looking back first at what's changed in the past 6 years that we've been here, right? And the shop has changed dramatically. It's hard for us to like remember it because we're here every day, and it just changes.
We're the ones that have done all the changes
we're the ones
too.
that did it all. But like, that used to be fully enclosed. There used to be a CNC in there.
If you remember the older videos, you know, that's where we had a little porthole in the computer used to be for the CNC that was inside of the freezer.
Crazy. We didn't have that wall. It was just separated off by a
Remember,
tarp.
you had like the bench and the heavy bag and all the your random rack over there.
Yeah, heat treat ovens used to be over there, and then they moved over here, and now they're all the way over there, close to the door. So when it's summertime and we're heat treating stuff, we can
It's
not die in the back.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it 104 degrees in here? Oh, Elliot's heat treating stuff.
because 2200 degrees is real hot.
Yeah, so much has changed.
Do we want to do a walkthrough? And then there's so much that hasn't changed too.
It's really odd
Like-
to say, like,
Those drill presses have been here for a long time. Did those came over from the garage?
that Delta, that is from the garage, and then the Porter cable. That was one of the first things I
Big
bought
ones.
for this shop.
Can we talk about my setup that you mock me for?
So I come in. Chris usually gets in before me, and I come in, and I see this sitting on his bench, and I go, oh boy. I go, dude, do you want me to just like quickly make you like a stand? Like, we have wood. I know how to work with wood.
So do I.
And he goes, nah, dude, I got all this tape. It's cool. He really loves his tape, guys.
What? Hey, it works.
You know, it's modular. It's adjustable, and what is it, 1.5 increments? Yeah.
Yeah.
2-inch increments?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, wow. You're really dialing your focus there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice.
Be amazed. Be re-amazed.
I'm always re-amazed with you.
Good.
You just made that up.
What? No, not me.
Always are made up, Chris.
Let's see. We still got tumblers.
The same tumblers, which is amazing. Look, I will say this. While they are small, they are mighty. And boy, oh boy, like the original one that I bought, good lord, that was 6 years ago.
The original one. Still the same motor going?
I mean, that has years worth of runtime on it.
Yep.
Not, we've had it for years. No, it has run for years. And still kicking. Although someone left it on for an overnight, and I came in the morning and it was real toasty. I'm like, ooh, shit.
You know,
Getting
it might be
close.
time to sort of clean some of that stuff.
What?
A little bit.
Cleaning out your tooling? No.
Yeah.
What you say?
It's crazy. I know. Let's see.
I think we've gone through no less than 5 power supplies over the years. He's a slayer.
Yeah, I heard the power supplies over time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really think they were ever intended to do what I put them through.
No.
No, definitely not. But what are you gonna do?
There's no other choice.
What do I look like? Some sort of electrical engineer?
You definitely don't look like that.
No. No. Nasty sink. We did expand out to 2 toaster ovens for the coatings.
2
I don't know. That happened a while ago, though. Well, back in the days when this wall here was in place, we didn't have the nanoceramic coating.
Nope. Well, it's an interesting coincidence of evolution, right? Where we said, okay, you know what? We want to spend less time being machinists, more time being knife makers, and we started using a machine shop down the road from us to do the machining on our handle scales, and so that opened up more time for Chris and I to do the fun things, like making knives look really different. I can't always say they're really pretty. Sometimes they're very strange looking, but people ask for things, and so we do it.
Mm-hmm.
And then we experiment. We try different stuff all the time. In fact, Chris always goes, I don't know what I'm doing, but I got an idea, and I'm going to go with it. And I go, you go, buddy. You get on with your bad self. You do it, fella.
Speaking of, you gotta throw that one in if it looks nice.
It's interesting, like how we we expanded from just having like red and black, because those were things we couldn't achieve with anodization, and now we have all kinds of different colors.
If you're gonna go back even further, when we expanded past bronze and blue. Remember when I got to green, how amazed we were?
We can do toxic green. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
It's funny. It's funny how things have changed.
Mm-hmm. Which shade of toxic green do you want now? No, it's still a pain to get.
One day, we should probably go back here and sort through all of the various maintenance stuff that we have about.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of the parts that no one ever really talks about in shop videos, is like the actual maintenance you have to do on your shop. I mean, and it always looks kind of like dirty and disheveled around here, and that's not because we're like dirty, disheveled people. It's just because you usually have to move from one thing to the other, and spending a whole lot of time cleaning just for the sake of having things looking clean.
And there's only 2 of us.
It just doesn't work all that well.
No.
I mean, in general, we keep the floor pretty clean, and we usually, I don't know, I go in and I clean off my assembly area
Can't tell it right now.
monthly. But yeah, it gets, well, like, this is what happens, right? So we'll spend, an hour cleaning off the entire table, cleaning everything up, resorting all the parts, putting everything back where it's supposed to go, and then within another day, it'll end up looking like this again.
Yeah.
So it's just, why keep spending time fighting when, especially, like, I know where everything is. I know you do too, except when somebody moves your tools, which is hilarious, by the way. He freaks out. Where's my screwdriver? It's like, you left it over there. No one touched your screwdriver, buddy. Nobody's touching your screwdriver.
Hey, at least I admit when I'm wrong. But there are times when people do touch my screwdriver.
This is true.
I do.
It's me. Anyway.
Oh, that wasn't family friendly. Crap.
It's not family friendly, buddy. It's also fascinating, like, how
Let's walk to the back.
stuff keeps evolving around here based on the needs of what we're doing. My handy little, I don't even know if we can call it a mill. This glorified drill press.
It's a mill. It's got slidey parts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still make knives on it. I still do. Not very many, but I still do. At least a couple a year. Fully handmade. In fact, there's some stuff on my bench that I'm working on. Completely handmade stuff. Just for shits and giggles, because I'm crazy like that.
Yeah, man.
Like, not much back here has actually changed.
This bench grinder is how many years old?
I want to say that's from the 50s, man.
Yeah, this is way older than I am.
Still going strong.
Still rocking.
Just a little squeaky every now and then.
So buffing wheels, I mean, we have been doing more buffing recently.
Oh, that's because we got damn
It's stainless steel.
Time mask is crap.
Yep. Scotch-Brite wheels.
One of the biggest evolutions that occurred was when we discovered Scotch-Brite wheels. Scotch-Brite wheels changed the game in terms of doing finishing and stuff. It really made everything go a lot faster.
Mm-hmm.
Scotch-Brite wheels are delightful. If you don't know about them, you should. If you do any kind of metal work, you should know about them. Blast cabinet is basically the same. We've had it lasted for years.
Years.
Been very reliable.
I love my blast booth.
I have very few critiques of it. We've gone through many of these over the years.
Yep.
And yet, we keep doing it because it's nice and easy.
Still works. The old glass planting maneuver.
These get glued back on.
Yep.
There was a time when we used to have like really good super glue. We used to use good cyanoacrylate on there. Apparently we don't anymore. It does make them easier to get off though.
Having cracked a few of those, yeah, I'm okay with it. If I have to glue it again. Grinders.
They still get used quite a bit. This one gets used the most. My good old KMG, my very first 2x72 grinder. Still gets used every single day. Every day.
Are you stroking your grinder?
I'm just giving her a little bit of love, a little pat on the back for a job well done over all of this time and all the abuse that I've put it through.
Okay. That's fair.
Still nice and functional.
Yeah, there's our giant pile of felts.
You know what definitely has changed in here though? We gotta fix some of the lights in here. This bastard. Right, every time I come back I go, man, why is it so dark in here? What is this, a cave?
Yeah, a little bit.
Does make it challenging. That's why I had to put lights and shit over the grinders. I feel like they've gotten dimmer too. Like we got some kind of problem.
Coated with crap.
You know what we might do? We might just have an electrician come in and put in new lights. Get out of town with that.
Oh my goodness,
nonsense.
a professional who's gonna do it properly?
Yeah.
Wow.
Amazing. That's one of the things that we also have learned over the years is when you have experts, sometimes it works out real great just to let the experts do what they're experts at.
Yep.
Works real good. Oh man, I was doing some searching around amid all of the extraneous parts that are about for things from years and years past. Just going through stuff, and wow, it's a walk down memory lane.
Yep. Some lessons learned the hard way.
It is one of the reasons why I actually like having some of the water jet drop and stuff around, because there are times when I will forget what steel we made something out of, and I can actually go check one of the drops and go, oh, well, those came from this drop, so they're XHP or they're N690 or they're M390 or 20CV.
You can just tell what steel is what?
For the most part?
Just by looking at it? Are you the steel whisperer?
I don't know if I'm a steel whisperer, but there's distinct differences in the amount of rust that they acquire over time. It's fascinating.
So you're a rust reader.
I'm a rust reader, yeah. Well, we are going to do a video, and it's going to be a very challenging video for me in particular. Where we're going to really go deep into the idea of stainless steel. And I've had to do a bunch of research on it just to make sure that I'm as accurate as humanly possible. And in doing that research, I was reminded of things that I had already come across and was baffled by when I came across them. Because, as in all things, we tend to use very vague words to describe complex things, and metallurgy is complex. And in using those vague words, we lose the meaning often of some of the complexity that's in them. And so the steel world gets very, very complex because there are thousands and thousands and thousands of types of alloys, especially in steel. So as I was doing my preliminary research to put that video together in a kind of coherent fashion so that it wasn't a rambly video that was disjointed, I found some things that I was like, wow, that's right, I'd forgotten. This was a pet peeve of mine years ago. Still is a pet peeve. So that'll be a very interesting and long, and for some of you, really boring video. Others of you will be fascinated by it.
And I'm gonna do my best to keep them on track and to we'll say the beginning of the video will be very much like make it understandable, and then we'll take the deep dive later in the video.
It's a pretty decent format. If you're gonna watch no other part of this video, watch this part. And then, if you're really interested, here's the rest.
Maybe we do part 1, part 2.
Kind of like doing an abstract and then the actual thesis afterward.
Yeah,
It's pretty good.
pretty much.
Okay.
Mhm.
We give the talking points first, and then we'll go deep,
Yeah, we'll do the so what first.
and I can go real deep.
I've heard all of this. It gets deep.
Well, Chris will often ask me a question, and I go, okay. And then I start going, and he goes, oh, shit, I'm sorry.
It was a yes or no question.
To you, it was yes or no.
Maybe to you.
To me, it's multivariable. So that is how things have sort of changed the physical structure of what we do here, because we now do a whole bunch of stuff that we had never done before. Things that I dreamed of, and now those dreams are becoming quite real and vivid. So like the introduction of a production line, the Pro Series, that's really changed the way that we we think about making product, not just knives. And so it's opened our eyes, and it's actually been very, very good. I think it gives us a chance to be more focused on what we are doing in a design, not just how are we going to make it, right? Being freed from the how are we going to make it and make it at a price point so that people can actually buy the damn thing.
Yep. Now we know how to do that.
Now we know how to do that. And so it really shifts the focus of what we do as a company to designing knives that people actually want to own. And how do I, as the knife designer, interpret the feedback, both directed and indirect feedback, like on how I should be taking one of the oldest tools of mankind and turning it into something modern and interesting that people will actually want to own, hopefully carry, maybe even use. I don't know. I use them.
I want everybody to carry and use their knife. I say it, and I really do mean it. I believe that everybody should carry a pocket knife. It doesn't have to be a 4-inch full titanium frame lock tactical folder, but pocket knives are so useful.
A cutting tool.
Cutting tool.
I mean, there was a time when everyone had a cutting tool with them at all times, before the era of prepackaged. And even in the era of prepackaged, some of those damn things are impossible to get into.
Oh, the easy tears that never actually tear all the way through. Oh yeah. No, you need a knife.
And it's not like you can't rip it apart like a savage beast, because you can. Lord knows I can. I do. But
yes, I've had to clean up stuff off the office floor because Elliot opened it real good. All the way.
I did it out. All of it. All over the place. Great work. Precision and control.
Yes.
Anyway, we were talking about changes in the company in ways that it has freed us in many ways to explore new options and not new, none of it's new, but interesting and better ways, at least in our opinion, to present the cutting tool. It's unique and special. And then, it's not just doing stuff just for my company. I design things for other companies. Most of you are aware of what we do with Massdrop, and it's going to continue. There's challenges that are now arising in that arena that I wouldn't say we didn't foresee it, but okay, we totally foresaw it and definitely warned Massdrop about it. But it's happening, and it's going to force, I think, Massdrop to become a better company than it is, and it also forces us to learn how to work with larger companies in a way that is meaningful and ultimately results in the best possible outcomes for you, the customers. I mean, if you've had some kind of issue with a Massdrop knife at some point and you've tried to reach out to their customer service, you'll find that those answers from them aren't always wonderful. And it's something that we've kind of had to been like hold Massdrop's hand with and say, guys, look, you got to do a better job with your customer service, because it's not just Massdrop that's getting represented not well here, it's also me. Because though I'm just the designer of that product and I don't really get much say over anything else except for this is how I think it should look, this is what I think we should use in the materials, like there's still suggestions. So I don't get all that much control over it. And I told them, like, people are going to lose things. We all do. People are going to take it apart and not know how to put it back together. People are going to do these things. We should make sure that we have it ready to go. Replacement stuff. Maybe some instructional videos. So it never occurred, and that's why we're doing the videos, telling you how to take things apart, put it back together, and have it go back together properly. And it's something that, like, we've been of two minds about for a very long time here. Do we equip people with the knowledge and then let people run wild with it, and therefore sort of lose our control over the ability to for when people email us to say, no, just send it back to us, we'll take care of it. Can people self-service? Gosh, we hope so. For the most part, most people can. Knives are not that complicated. But we knew that and we know that in enabling people to do a bunch of self-service work on their own knives, that we will inevitably get stuff that is messed up real good that we'll fix.
We're at 25 minutes.
Oh, you're surprised?
No, I'm just letting you know.
Surprised that we're at 25 minutes?
Let's try and keep it around half an hour.
Oh yeah, we'll see. Yeah, sure. We're definitely gonna get there. So it looks like changes are coming down the road for Massdrop. They're with some pressure, finally starting to pay more attention to what's going on their customer service side. It looks like they're going to start doing a better job. I hope so. We're also going to take on a little bit more on this one as well. So for all of you that have Massdrop Ferrum Forge stuff, like I just went ahead and got screws because people have been asking for screws, and Massdrop doesn't have screws yet. They're going to have stuff, but we want to just make sure that we were prepared, so that when people start coming to us with needs for things like screws, we can help you now. We're trying to. It should be here in about a week, because that's one of the big giant differences between the Massdrop stuff and then the Pro Series stuff. Pro Series stuff, you're dealing directly with us, and so when you have a problem, you email us and we take care of it. It's just the way it goes. And maybe it's because there's just a lot less of them in the world than there are the Massdrop knives. But in general, we've seen almost no issues with the Pro Series so far. I mean, the few things that have occurred, I think we've only had like 3 come here for an actual problem that we actually had to take care of. Like I think we had one that had the detent ball sheared off, and guess what? We got parts to fix that. I think we had like a messed up screw or something that we fixed for somebody. Really simple things.
Things that are covered under your warranty.
Yeah, no big deal. So we touched on Massdrop. That stuff is going to continue. There's actually really, really fun stuff that's coming out from Massdrop. Can we do like a quick little? Oh, this is coming.
Just a teeny little bit in the corner screen.
Just a little. That's coming. That is a project that I am so excited is finally coming to fruition. It's one that I've had dreams of since 2015, and it's taken some time to get it to where it's going to be real. It takes a lot of talking, cajoling, bringing people together, but it should be well, it is already a great knife. It's very fun. I think people are going to love it. There's more models that are going to come out of Massdrop, and then Pro Series, right? The next step for Pro Series is going to be an Archbishop 2.0. I keep hinting at it, and I'm not being subtle with the hints that I have on my Instagram. So we figured we would just do it. Can I move this board?
Yes.
Is that going to be okay?
You can
for
move it.
Oh my gosh, Chris.
Dude.
Oh.
You're killing me, Small.
Easy peasy. Alright, so that's a Fortis. We're not looking at that.
Fortis for scale, bro.
Fortis for scale. Do we have any bananas?
No.
So what we got here are essentially all of the scale options for the Archbishop 2.0. I'll just bang them together.
Just clang them around.
It's alright, they're made of titanium, it's fine. Oh, like we're not gonna refinish all of these. And then for actual scale, that's the original Archbishop from back in 2016. This is Christopher's. He obviously did some stuff to it. One of the things that he asked of me was, hey, can you do something again with the chevrons? Because the chevrons were like this, we didn't think much of it when we did it, and then they became a very popular version of the Archbishop. And so I did it again. But when I have lower cost machining, I can get a little more interesting with it and make the chevrons pass through a little bit. Because it can, and it's fun. Chris is excited for the refinish work on these.
I'm excited.
He's going to get to play a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I'm working with some open space. I think it's fun. This one is actually called open space. I'm real creative with my naming.
Naming is hard.
It's been a while since I did a diamond pattern on something, so I'm going to do diamonds again with the fake bolster look. Also, this one will be very fun for customization.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of having a plain slab scale, I did contoured. I love...
Turn the butt towards us.
You want to look at my butt?
There you go. There's the contour.
Also, these have backspacers.
So we updated the Archbishop.
Mm-hmm. I really didn't change all that much in it.
Oh, we forgot one of the most important parts. These are all going to have M390.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we did that.
That one.
This is a Blade HQ exclusive.
The through work.
The through work. The Archbishop through work. Also going to be fun for customization.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you definitively, this will mark the last model that has a flippable pocket clip. What we're going to do from here on out is have right-handed and left-handed versions of the model. So this is the last one where we're going to have holes on the other side and stuff. I don't love it, and for the most part, what we have found in talking with left-handed people is that they will just carry a left-handed knife. So I don't need to put the pocket clip on the other side. Also, like, we're making your primary knife in the Pro Series. They're primary knives, not like a secondary one you're going to carry in a different pocket somewhere. Like a knife like the Gent, actually. For me, that actually is my secondary knife that I carry, not in my front hip pocket. So that's something we're going to do. And that was all I really had to say about those.
There you are.
There I am. Hi. Good to see you. Jeez. I know it doesn't sound like I'm really excited about it, but I really am. The Archbishop was a great knife, and these ones are quite stellar. We and I've knocked these out of the park. In theory, they should be out to dealers in February.
I really like these knives. I'm a big fan of the Archbishop. I like the updates. I think you guys are going to like the updates too.
Yeah. A lot of love there. Alright, so that's happening on the Pro Series side. We still are going to make knives in this shop. We still do that. It's just picking out when the timing is going to occur. So we have a model, and I designed it in 2015, and we never brought it out in 2015 because there were too many people that were doing stuff that was like it, and it was going to be lost in the crowd, and I didn't want to hear people saying, "Oh, he's copying." Yeah, okay, sure. So I've sat on it for a while, and every now and then I go in and I tweak it and I change it and hopefully improve it, and I think. Like I made a prototype for it here and changed a whole bunch of stuff after I made a prototype. That usually happens when I prototype something and then stare at it.
Almost like it's the point of prototyping?
Yeah, crazy, right?
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I know.
Hold on, we're going to have a truck.
Truck?
No? Okay.
It's the story of our lives here. So we'll roll that out. Those are going to be made here. They're going to be expensive. Sorry, they have to be. I think we're gonna go fancy on those too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we want to do fancy. We're in the process of building some knives for some people, and yeah, I'm being deliberately vague. And they have a lot of damascene steel and Damascus in them, and I think while it is a pain in the ass to do all the finish work on those, they're just coming out so breathtaking that we want to do more of that here in-house.
We don't do fancy much,
but when we
do, we're going to make sure it's awesome.
Yeah. So that's basically like the plan for at least the first quarter of this year.
Mm-hmm.
As more things become real. I mean, so here I'll give you a little insight. A knife like this, it takes a lot of planning and back and forth and prototyping and changing and planning before it ever becomes real. So the idea of doing an Archbishop 2.0 has been on the books for a lot more than a year, I would say.
Yeah, we've been talking about this for... Oh, the years blend together.
I know they really do. So it often takes from concept to, hey, I think we should, to, hey, look, here's the prototype. That process can sometimes take a year. There are other things that we can move really, really fast on. But in general, there's 12 months of process. So it's not like we just like send a file to China and then all of a sudden knives show up. I wish it was that simple, but it is never, ever that simple. Especially since I'm a little picky. I'm a lot picky.
Yeah.
It's one of the distinct advantages of having made thousands of knives and having done them
real loud.
in a semi-production sort of mode where, you know, I'm outsourcing machine work to other places, and so I have to quality assure things and check, and then bringing parts from different places all into the shop and putting them together and making sure they all fit right. There's some system that goes on there that really mirrors the systems that other production companies use, and it's not like we went there and learned from them. Like, it's just the natural evolution of making knives at a faster rate without sacrificing the quality for it. Like, we really all end up doing kind of the same thing. So it enables me to cajole with real facts. Say, no, it's not that hard. You can do it.
All right, we really got to wrap this up.
Wrap you up. How dare you tell me I can rant and then put a time limit on it? How dare you?
I need to put food in my belly.
Oh, so it's all about you.
Yes, I'm hungry.
This guy.
And also, we're almost 40 minutes deep.
Well, that's going to happen. I have a lot to explain. Right.
So
He probably is right. There's really not many of you still watching at this point, which is fine. It's fine. I get it.
We'll do more videos. We can always make more.
We can always make more, he says. Great. Excellent. So that's an overview and an introduction and a little bit of look what's happening all in one video with some rant. I think it's pretty decent.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, YouTube, if you're appreciating what we're doing, getting back on the tube and doing more content, let us know with a like. If you're not subscribed, maybe even subscribe. Who knows? You might learn something. Maybe.
I mean, yes.
Or you'll just be like, wow, look at these idiots. I can't believe these guys have a business.
No comment. I plead the fifth.
The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th.
All right, we're done.